Look at this thing. This is the Drashark. This is a $100 30-gram whoop from HGLRC. Get it? Drashark? Because it's like a dragon shark. Whatever. All right, let's open this up and see what you get in the box. A bag of spare props, and we get the drone, and that's about it. Not sure if this is supposed to be connected to the drone or not, but this is the little battery tray. The way that this goes on, I believe, is right like this. And that's the little battery tray. And you also get a little propeller direction card. All right, so here's the drone. We've got this TPU cover that's just one single piece that's shaped like a shark, and it looks kind of cool. I like the design of this since it's only held in place with 2 screws. So in case you did have to do any work to the drone, you've got a screw right here, and then you have another screw in the back, and you pretty much just remove those 2, and this entire piece will come right off, and you have nice, easy access to the flight controller. You shouldn't have to do any work on this since it's a ready-to-fly drone out of the box, but if you did have to fix something or put a new camera on there or whatever, this makes it nice and easy. The TPU piece holds the camera and the VTX antenna and just kind of protects the flight controller right in the middle here. The camera that they've included on this is the Caddx Ant Lite. It's not screwed into the TPU at all, and it's just kind of sitting in this little slot. Taking a look at the frame, this frame is carbon fiber. It has a little bit of flex, but then again, for something this thin, you have a little bit of flex. Otherwise, it does look pretty durable. You get some nice support for the motors on the side, and I think it will probably be difficult to break. I think you'd really have to go like full speed into a rock wall or something to do some damage to it. The flight controller that's on this drone is HGLRC's new Zeus all-in-one 1S 5-amp F411 board. This has a built-in SPI ELRS receiver as well as a 200 milliwatt analog VTX. The flight controller also comes with Betaflight 4.4.1 already installed, so this makes binding that built-in SPI receiver nice and easy since we can use the binding phrase feature. I think it's also worth mentioning that the drone does have BlueJay already installed. The power connector on this drone is the A30 connector, so make sure you have batteries that fit. The drone doesn't come with any, so you'll have to buy those separately. I have a bunch of Flywoo batteries, and I also have this GNB 550, so I'm going to be testing out a couple different batteries on this. This is going to be my primary one, but then I also have all of these. Like, I think this is 750 and 450. Yeah, 750 and 450. These are all A30 connector, and these will work on the drone just fine. You get this little TPU holder on the bottom for the 1S batteries. This just clips right in, so you bend it like that. This is what it looks like. It's pretty standard 1S battery size, but it just clips right onto the carbon fiber frame. So you slide it under like that, get that side under, sits right on the bottom, put your battery in right like that, plug it in, and you're good to go. The motors that HGLRC put on this drone are their 1002 21,000 kV brushless motors, and then the props are Gemfan 1610 biblade props. So I'll probably see some nice speed out of this thing. And since the flight controller has motor plugs on the bottom, this makes motor replacement very easy. So if you burn a motor out or you just need to replace one for some reason, you can just unplug it, unscrew it, take it off, put the new one on, plug it in, good to go. No soldering. All right, so I'm gonna go charge up a bunch of batteries for this. I'm gonna get it bound up to my controller, and we're gonna take this outside for a test flight. right, so this drone is pretty fun. It's a nice little 1S freestyle ripper that has some nice power, and it's actually surprisingly quiet. There are a couple things that I want to mention though. This little battery holder on the bottom is very weak. Look at how easy this comes off. The TPU tabs on this are very thin. These are like 1 millimeter thick, so that's probably just the main issue with this. I think that they need a different battery mounting system where it's attached to the carbon fiber frame with some screws or maybe even just rubber bands or something. Either way, I had the battery fall off a couple times when I was testing this, and one of the times it actually came off, was still connected to the drone, so it was pretty much like this, and it was into a tree, so this got caught on a tree right like that. So I had to get one of those claw things and get it down, but it came off in a couple crashes, so I definitely think that this needs to be redesigned or made thicker or something. I don't know. It comes off too easy. Second thing that I want to mention, the tune on this does need a little bit of work. I was seeing a good amount of prop wash and some instability when I was diving those light posts. It's not a terrible tune, I just noticed a few weird jitters and prop wash, like I said. Overall though, the components on this drone are pretty solid. They just need a little extra TLC in the form of a tune and a redesigned battery bracket. I really like the all-in-one boards that are coming out like this. You're starting to see a lot of these, but these boards that have the flight controller, 4-in-1 ESC, the video transmitter, and an ELRS receiver all built in, these are really nice to work with because you don't really have to do much soldering. The only soldering you'd really have to do is if you had to put a new battery connector on here or if you had to attach a new camera. But that's really the only soldering you'd have to do. The motors plug right in and then everything else is just baked right into this board. I crashed this drone a few times. The frame is still completely intact. I feel like this frame will hold up in quite a few crashes. And speaking of, none of the propellers broke either. So these are the props that were on the drone when I was flying. These are all still very usable, and yeah, the TPU seemed to protect the flight controller, and overall it still flies great. I was able to turtle mode and fly away. Then again, sometimes I was able to turtle mode and then I couldn't fly because this was just kind of like dangling off the drone. All in all, not a bad quad, fast, fun, quiet. I feel like it does need a little bit of work with the tune and just a new way to mount a battery like this. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave the video a like, and if you have any questions about the Drashark, leave a comment down below.